Hey everyone, and welcome into this edition of the Accomplished series, where I share with you my top 10 tips for voiceover that I think are going to make an impact for you on this week. We do 10 tips in less than 10 minutes, so let's get right into it. The first tip number 1, the market will tell you what it wants from you. When you're first starting out in voiceover, you don't know where you should be. So you want to taste it all. You want to taste every genre that's out there and get a feel for different things. And then you start noticing where you should be. Not because so much so that you know where you should be, but because of the types of jobs that you start getting hired for. You see, the market tells us what they want from us. We can have a hope and a dream of doing something, but the market tells each and every one of us what they want from us, and it's based on what we get hired for. Tip number 2 is extremely important. Execute on the information you get. If there is one thing that I'm going to tell you that is going to make the difference in your career starting right now, is your ability to intake information and implement that information. That is going to be where the rubber meets the road. And so when I recommend sites like Start With Why or Skillshare, all it means is that I know I'm very different in regards to I'm not holding anything back from you. Tip number 3, anyone can do voiceover if you have the talent. Because building this thing called voiceover and building this business is a business. This is something that you can do from home. I think it is probably one of the most viable things that anyone can do. And I'm talking about from the kid up to the 70, 80-year-old. Anyone can do this, and there's a market for it. There's a market for your voice. And one of the things that I tell so many people is, when people say, well, people have said I've got a nice voice and I should do voiceover, it doesn't mean a hill of beans. It really means nothing. Any type of voice can get over in this industry because there's a certain sector, there's a certain market that is looking for specifically what you have to offer as far as your voice goes. It is there. You can find those people, and that's where the work begins. Tip number 4, laser focus in on your marketing. And we see how marketing is going. Marketing has become very, very laser focused. And you can see this in your own Facebook feed. The information or the ads that you see in your Facebook feed are completely different from everyone else's in most cases. Like my wife's Facebook feed, I don't see that crap. She sees it there and she doesn't see mine. It's, as far as the ads go, because of the way that people are trying to laser focus in, they're targeting to sell their stuff. So when they hire us as voice actors, what they want is someone that can hit that market. Tip number 5, you got to lose your ego. One of the main things that you're going to want to make sure that you lose when you get into the script is your ego. When you get into the studio, you have to lose your ego. If you've got a fragile ego, your feelings will be hurt every time you go in. Let me just tell you that, because you're not going to walk into someone's studio doing some sort of read and nail it the first time. You may think you can nail it the first time when you're self-directing and putting out your stuff, but when you're in someone else's booth or if you're being directed live, it can get brutal. I'm going to be completely honest with you there. It can get brutal. Tip number 6. Pay attention to technology and what is coming. People forget about one of the biggest industries that is out there right now, which is e-learning. E-learning is basically those videos that many of us have watched on new jobs that we've gone to, things of that nature. E-learning is also explaining things that happen in all these apps that are coming out. There are these videos that these app creators are making, and they want voices in order to explain how these apps work. And, I've done a ton of those this year already. Another thing that's coming up is virtual reality. It's not here yet, but it's coming. And it's one of those things that you want to make sure that you are ready for and that you don't have blinders on. Tip number 7, you gotta be yourself. Just do you. So many people want to say what they think others want to hear, as opposed to who they actually are. And if you don't realize this yet, this is the reason why so many voiceover artists are commoditized, because they haven't started with who they are from the inside and bringing that out, because no one else has that why, because no one else has my story. Tip number 8, how do you warm up your voice? This book, Tongue Twisters and Vocal Warm-Ups by Rodney Salisbury, is a good place to start when you're looking to get an understanding of, how you can strengthen your voice, how you can, warm it up, what you need to do to protect it, some tongue twisters that will help you in your delivery with this. And so these are certain practices that, some of them I do daily, some of them I do every once in a while. Rodney claims he does them every day. I don't know. But when you get into looking at these tongue twisters and being able to perform them, it will make things easier. Tip number 9, pick carefully who you choose to work with. I don't think there's anyone that is working with me right now that just saw me yesterday and said, yeah, I want to work with you, Earl. You've watched me over a period of time and you know who I am as far as my ethic, the grind and don't quit mentality, the hustle, what I expect out of myself and what I expect out of people that I want to work with. And so I draw in that type of audience, and that's the only audience I want to draw in. Get out of the mentality of wanting to work with everyone, because that is where you get into trouble. Tip number 10, how do you set your pricing? When you're setting these prices and when you start raising your rates, you're scared of losing clients. Well, what happens is, you drop off some clients, but you pick up some other clients that understand that they need to pay more. You start becoming more visible to them that are looking to pay a higher rate. And that's what you want anyway. Here's the thing. Do you want 10 $5 gigs? What's that, $50? Or do you want one $50 gig? Which is better? I hope you guys got something valuable out of the top 10 tips that I've shared with you on this week. I think tip number 2, execute on your information, is the one that resonates most with me. I talk all the time about, you can get a ton of information, you can get coaching, you can watch YouTube videos all day, but if you never execute on the information, it does you no good. It's all about letting the rubber meet the road, executing on the concepts that you learn, implementing them into your business so that you can be successful. Let me know down in the comments which tip resonated with you the most and why. I want to thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, tick the bell so that you'll know whenever I go live, like I do Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, or whenever I release a brand new video. I thank you for your time. I thank you for watching. Thank you. See you next time. Don't forget, accomplish.